Hey, good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here. Beautiful start to your Thursday. I'm Cailtin Francis.
I'm Caitlin Nuclo. You're watching Eyewitness News here on the Wax. We appreciate that. We do have a lot to talk about, but first we'll start with your weather and meteorologist Scot Haney with a check on that first alert forecast. Hey, good morning.
Cold.
It's cold. Yeah, it's cold out there. You need a jacket. You need a sweatshirt. You need something out there this morning. Don't go to the bus stop without that because it is cold out there. Again, Todd in Colebrook carving ice into the windshield, into the door panel of his car, because that's a little bit of ice that we're seeing in the Robertsville section of Colebrook. Here's WOA number 2, 34 degrees from Kim and Canton, 34 degrees this morning. The numbers are the chilliest that they're going to be right now. That sun is coming up. It's the coldest part of the morning, and it really is rather chilly out there. First alert live radar, the only live radar in Connecticut scanning dry. Frost advisories, freeze warnings in effect for everybody to the north and west. Not so much here in Connecticut, but nonetheless, it still is rather chilly out there this morning. Visibility at a perfect 10. Satellite and radar is dry and cloud-free. And kids, you're going off to the bus stop with some chilly temperatures in the low to mid-40s. By lunch and recess, only in the mid-50s. And then the ride home in the mid-60s. So a little bit shy of the normal during the day today. Your 7-day forecast, which includes a high of 85, is coming up next. Kate, good morning.
All right, good morning, Scott. Good morning, everyone. Heading out the door here, 7:02. If you are getting ready to go to work, bring the kids to school or the bus stop, we do have a first alert here that I'm following for you in Stamford, 95 southbound between exits 7 and 6. The left lane there is closed. We had an earlier crash in West Hartford, 84 eastbound heading in towards Hartford. That has cleared, but we are seeing some delays still lingering through that stretch as you're heading towards the capital city region. Live look in Hartford, 91 north and southbound, moving along nicely there. We've got some delays through Cheshire on 84 here, so just give yourself a couple of extra minutes to get through that safely and slowly. A live look outside in Meriden along 691 east and westbound as well. Daytime construction work usually picks up between about 8:30 and 9 o'clock, but you can see some brief delays into Hartford, 84 eastbound, and actually not doing too bad 95 southbound right now, just about an hour and a half ride towards the George Washington Bridge. That's a check at your Connecticut Chevy First Alert traffic report driven by your Connecticut Chevy dealers.
Well, the partial government shutdown is now in its second day. About 750,000 federal workers are expected to be temporarily laid off, including most employees at the Department of Education, Labor, and the Environmental Protection Agency. The shutdown could also impact tourism in the U.S., with more than half of the National Park Service employees being furloughed right now.
Well, one topic driving the impasse between Democrats and Republicans is health care. The enhanced tax credits were enacted in 2021. They're set to expire in December, and lawmakers just can't seem to agree on extending them. Representative Rosa DeLauro says thousands of Connecticut households will be spending thousands more if those credits expire. So you can see some of those scenarios released by her office here on your screen right now. So for instance, she says a family of 4 earning just under $130,000 a year could see premiums rise by more than $18,000.
Well, the government shutdown didn't dampen spirits for long on Wall Street as trading wrapped up with the S&P 500 and Dow both closing at record highs. The tech-heavy NASDAQ composite also went up. Stocks had opened lower yesterday morning before turning higher during the day as investors tried to look past concerns. Oh, this morning, water problems persist for some in Waterbury more than a week after that big water main break on Huntington Avenue.
The city has still not been able to find out if the water is actually safe to drink. Your reporter Taylor Knight tells us what residents should be doing to make sure their water is safe.
Good morning. The city is asking anyone who had low or no water pressure following last week's water main break to boil their water this morning. They have been testing the water, but they have not gotten any results to show that it is safe to drink yet. Right now, a boil water advisory remains in place in Waterbury. This comes 3 days after the water main break was repaired, but problems remain. Anyone who experienced low or no water pressure on Wednesday, September 24th or Monday, September 29th should continue to boil their water. The city says some water test results came back unclear yesterday, so people are being advised to boil their water before they use it for drinking, cooking, washing fruits and veggies, or brushing their teeth. The city has tested the water again already, and they hope to have those results by this afternoon. Here on Huntington Avenue, you can see repairs are still underway. Heavy equipment still being used here to fix this 100-year-old 30-inch pipe. The road is still closed in the area as crews work to get everything fixed and in working condition again. Your reporter in Waterbury, Taylor Knight, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Scary ride home from school in Bristol after a school bus collided with a car. Pinpoint News Tracker shows you where it happened yesterday on Stafford Avenue, right near Farmington Ave. The bus had 14 students on board. None of them were hurt, but the driver of the other vehicle did have minor injuries. The cause of that crash still under investigation. And this morning, a New Britain man facing multiple charges after a shooting in the city Tuesday evening. That shooting happened on Jubilee Street. The victim suffered a leg injury and is expected to be okay. We're still working to find out what led to that shooting.
Today in New Haven, you'll have a chance to hear what's being done to address safety concerns in the city. The mayor and police chief are taking a look at current crime trends, and that meeting will take place at City Hall at 11:30. It is open to the public. Tonight in New Britain, you'll also have the chance there to hear from the two candidates for mayor. With just over a month until Election Day, we are counting down. So regardless of who wins, the city will have a new leader for the first time in more than a decade. That's because current mayor Erin Stewart not seeking re-election. Instead, she's weighing a run for governor. Tonight's debate is at the City Library. It starts at 6.
Metro North adding some extra trains for tonight's baseball game so fans can head down to New York for that big game.
All right, your reporter Roger Suzanne live at Union Station. Roger, good morning. So between the fans and the commuters, it's expected to be a very busy day at the train station.
Yeah, it really will be a busy day. We've been chatting with some commuters, some of them wearing Yankee hats, a few even wearing Red Sox as well hats as they are ready to go. But yeah, we'll likely see the crush towards the stadium later this afternoon when, again, Metro North will be adding extra trains going right to the Bronx. And Red Sox fans, don't hold it against us here, but Metro North is calling those trains Yankee Clippers. But no matter what happens tonight, of course, these fans are going to be witnessing a new chapter in this epic rivalry. Fans from our state have been riding down in style over the last 2 days as the Yanks and Red Sox have split the first two games. Tonight, first pitch is 8:08, so we'll likely see more folks catching trains early this afternoon so they can have some fun in New York City before the game. We know Yankee fans will be well represented, but Connecticut Red Sox fans really need to step up because people in every other New England state are unable to buy tickets through Ticketmaster, although, of course, they could try the secondary market. The cheapest tickets I could find, by the way, were listed for about $152 each, so attending this game will be pretty expensive, but I'm sure big fans of both teams will tell you that as long as their side wins, it will be worth every single penny. And by the way, just a moment ago, a big Channel 3 fan named Julia hit us with a Go Sox. So yes, there's some Red Sox fans here as well as some Yankee fans. And again, first pitch, 8:08. The winner will face the Toronto Blue Jays. By the way, the ticket prices are $152 per ticket. That's the cheapest price we could find on the secondary market. Reporting live in New Haven this morning, I'm your reporter Roger Suzanne, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Well, the Trump administration says it is canceling nearly $8 billion of climate funding that was set to go to states, including Connecticut. The director of Office of Management and Budget called that money green scam funding and said it fuels what he calls the left's climate agenda. All but 2 of the 16 states targeted have Democratic governors. Well, this morning, a Connecticut law restricting the use of handguns in state parks and forests remains in effect. The Attorney General says a federal judge dismissed a lawsuit challenging that law. The court agreed with the state that it's reasonable to limit the use of firearms in crowded locations.
20 states, including Connecticut, are suing to stop a new DOJ rule focused on undocumented immigrants. That rule bars states from using federal grant funds to provide legal services to those undocumented who are victims of domestic violence and other crimes. The lawsuit argues the rule violates the spending clause in the U.S. Constitution. The new rule is part of DOJ's broad effort to limit federal grants.
Well, today some schools in our state are closed to observe Yom Kippur. It's the holiest day of the Jewish calendar, serving as a day of atonement. The holiday began at sundown last night, and those who observe typically fast until sundown tonight.